These before and after photos went viral on Facebook. Once addicted to heroin with 17 felony convictions on her record, Ginny Burton has a message for those battling addiction or other life issues. It is never too late to change.
She recently graduated from the University of Washington as a Truman Scholar and is now sharing her story to inspire others. And she joins us this morning. Good morning.
Good morning.
Wow, you look at that side by side, it's very impactful. And for so many years, I think people have viewed the problem of drug addiction as some kind of moral failure or lack of discipline. What do you say to those people?
Well, I think a lot of people that struggle with addiction wouldn't choose to be there. Not that we didn't choose to use the drugs for whatever reason, but I don't think that anybody's desire is to spiral down out of control and lose just every opportunity and every ability that they have to function normally in the world.
But it started very young with you. You were exposed to drugs at, what was it, age 7? And talk about your journey.
Yeah. Well, you know, I was introduced to drugs by my mom. I lived in a really volatile, violent environment. My mom, I think, struggled with mental illness. My dad went to prison when I was really young. So I think that I was sort of out of options. Against my better judgment, I became an addict. And I felt very conflicted internally for the majority of my life. I think that patterns are really, really hard to break. And when they're introduced to us by our parents at a young age, it becomes almost impossible to overcome those things on our own. So it took me a really long time to pull myself out of that, despite the conflict that was going on in my mind, where I wanted to do something very different than what I was actually doing. I didn't have the skill set to actually change my life.
So you're in prison and some rehabilitation takes place. Is there something that somebody is saying to you that clicks in your head that makes you turn the corner on this?
Well, I think there were a lot of people that had, you know, dropped little nuggets or seeds in my path throughout my entire life. The second time I was in prison, I met someone that had previously been in a 12-step program, and they introduced that program to me and encouraged me to participate in that upon my release. I was able to gain some footing at that point, but I did end up relapsing again because there was an inability to really navigate emotions. That was something that I hadn't learned. And once I had used again, once I had relapsed, it took a really long time for me to be able to arrest my disease on my own. And so, you know, just more and more people, you know, here and there dropped into my life and would make a comment or share a word of wisdom. And finally, at about the age of 40, I was tired. At about 38 and a half or 39, I ended up in a domestic violence relationship. I relapsed again, even though I didn't want to use. It just felt like something a little more, something that I was a little bit more able to navigate was addiction, as opposed to the domestic violence relationship that I had ended up in. And then once I started using, I couldn't stop on my own. And the entire time that I was in that relapse, I wanted something different. But at the same time, when given the opportunity to do something different on the streets, my addiction was so big, I just couldn't stop. And so it wasn't until I got arrested that I was able to really surrender my disease. I knew that I wasn't willing at that point to put myself in another situation. And so I was willing to do whatever it took. And it's been one hard step at a time over the last 8.5 years, 8 years and 7 months, actually. And I've gotten to this really amazing place in my life that I didn't ever think was going to be possible for a person like me.
Well, it is so inspiring. Congratulations, you're a college graduate, and it's phenomenal and inspiring, and we wish you nothing but the best, Ginny. You can follow her Facebook group, Courage to Change. And thanks for being with us, Ginny.
Thank you.
Thank you.